The UK will build up to 12 new nuclear-powered attack submarines and invest £15 billion in its warhead programme. The British Ministry of Defence is planning to finance an expansion of its fleet of nuclear-powered attack submarines to more than double its current size, with the decision being part of the latest Strategic Defence Review, which has prioritised both medium and long-term preparations for possible conflict with Russia. The review stipulates procurement of 12 next-generation attack submarines. The review stipulates procurement of 12 next-generation attack submarines. The Prime Minister will announce on Monday as the government unveils its Strategic Defence Review. Significant investment in the UK nuclear warhead programme this Parliament and maintaining the existing stockpile are among the 62 recommendations that the government is expected to accept in full. The British Ministry of Defence is planning to finance an expansion of its fleet of nuclear-powered attack submarines to more than double its current size, with the decision being part of the latest Strategic Defence Review, which has prioritised both medium and long-term preparations for possible conflict with Russia. The review stipulates procurement of 12 next-generation attack submarines. The Royal Navy currently operates a fleet of just 5 attack submarines, namely 7,400 Astute-class nuclear-powered vessels, with 2 more ships of the class currently in testing or under construction. Development of a next-generation attack submarine class is expected to take place under the SSN AUKUS program, and be pursued jointly with the United States and Australia. Plans for a more than twofold of the attack submarine fleet reflects part of a broader trend towards efforts to tremendously expand British warfighting capabilities, with a particular focus on maritime and aerial power projection assets. This aligns with the country's shift towards a warfighting readiness posture stimulated primarily by rising tensions with Russia, but also by a decision to support broader efforts by countries across the Western world to increase their military presences in East Asia aimed at countering the Chinese challenge to Western regional dominance. Astute-class attack submarines are estimated cost the Ministry of Defense over $2 billion each, and when accounting for both inflation and the much higher projected costs of next-generation ships with new generations of propulsion, quieting, communications and weapons technologies, the SSN AUKUS ships are expected to cost well over $3 billion each. The much larger number of vessels that will be fielded will not only have significantly greater sustainment costs, but will also require greater investments in supporting infrastructure. Plans to bring the BAE Systems shipyard in Barrow-in-Furness to a projected build rate of 1 submarine every 18 months, which would mark a major reversal in decades of decline in British shipbuilding, are expected to cost several $billion more. Overall, the plan to field a fleet of 12 SSN AUKUS nuclear-powered attack submarines is likely to cost well over $40 billion, excluding the tens of billions more in operational costs over the fleet's lifetime, as the ships are each expected to cost well over $100 million per year. Defense Secretary John Healey said, "Our outstanding submariners patrol 24/7 to keep us and our allies safe, but we know that threats are increasing and we must act decisively to face down Russian aggression." With new state-of-the-art submarines patrolling international waters and our own nuclear warhead program on British shores, we are making Britain secure at home and strong abroad, while delivering on our plan for change with 30,000 highly skilled jobs across the country. The £15 billion investment into the warhead program will back the government's commitments to maintain the continuous at-sea nuclear deterrent, build a new fleet of dreadnought submarines and deliver all future upgrades. From the late 2030s, the fleet of up to 12 SSN AUKUS conventionally armed, nuclear-powered submarines will replace 7 Astute-class attack submarines the UK is due to start operating. In response to the Strategic Defence Review, the government will also commit to getting the armed forces to a stage where it would be ready to fight a war, boosting weapons and equipment stockpiles and making sure there is capacity to scale up production if needed in a crisis or war, buying up to 7,000 UK-built long-range weapons in a move due to support 800 defence jobs, setting up a new cyber command and investing £1 billion in digital capabilities, more than £1.5 billion of additional funding to repair and renew armed forces housing. Sir Keir Starmer will say, "This Strategic Defence Review will ensure the UK rises to the challenge and our armed forces have the equipment they need that keeps us safe at home while driving greater opportunity for our engineers, shipbuilders and technicians of the future." The United Kingdom's ability to afford a fleet of 12 nuclear-powered attack submarines remains in serious question, particularly when considering both the state of the country's economy, and the extent of its ambitions for defense procurements in a wide range of other fields, ranging from acquiring a fleet of nuclear-armed stealth fighters, to leading a program to develop a sixth-generation air superiority fighter. Despite deep cuts to the British Army in particular, which has seen its fighting capabilities further devastated by donation of equipment to Ukraine on a tremendous scale, the planned programs for the Navy and Air Force are not expected to be affordable, even if defense spending levels are raised to over 4% of GDP. Considering the consistent post-Cold War trend towards major cost overruns and performance bugs in British weapons programs, which has affected the Astute-class submarine program among others, the possibility of procuring 12 next-generation submarines for under $40 billion appears even less likely. The Astute-class fleet itself is unable to reach the intended top speeds it was designed for, and among other issues has suffered from leaks, corrosion, and a number of reliability issues. The consistent trend towards major procurement programs suffering deep cuts, ranging from the highly troubled Type 45 destroyer which saw the planned fleet size halved due to cost overruns, to the F-35B fleet which is not expected to reach half of the planned 138 aircraft, deep cuts to the ambitious plan for a fleet of 12 nuclear-powered attack submarines remains likely.